So for me, I think the COSCA course itself was something I've been thinking about for quite a long time for a professional sort of pathway to go down. So I knew it was important to do the introduction course, and living locally, I knew of FDAMH, and I think there were so many options out there online. I was really quite keen to do it with a place that I knew was quite reputable and would give me a good solid foundation. So that's why I thought FDAMH would be a good option to do that initial step into the COSCA counselling course.
I had been looking at counselling course for quite a while, worked in social care and was wanting to continue doing the counselling, but time, trying to fit it in with a job, things like that. And then things changed at the beginning of the year, so it was kind of right time, right place. And because it's local, didn't have to travel far, I know about FDAMH, knew it would be a good place to come as well. And it is, the locality was really good. The thought of having to travel to Glasgow, Edinburgh, when I knew that there could be emotional days as well, so that's my reasoning for.
I had seen, just out by complete chance, I had seen an advert for it online on Facebook, I think it was, and the date was starting, I think, maybe a couple of weeks' time. And there was just something about it, like you'd said earlier, right place, right time. I'd been sort of pondering it for such a long time. Thought there's almost a reason that I've just seen that today. And I phoned and spoke to, I think it was Lisa Alexander. And again, the minute you phone, you don't feel like you're just a number. You don't feel like someone, because the woman I spoke to was like, I can put you right through, she can speak to you about it, you know. And right away, I felt completely engaged. Like I was really enthusiastic. It'd gone from something that I quite fancied doing at some point to almost being quite determined that I was going to get on that next course. And I felt that the people that I spoke to, even in that early part, really went out their way to try and facilitate that for me. So although I was a bit nervous coming in for the first session, just not knowing what it was going to be like, and you know, was I going to be good enough? Was anyone going to be even better than me? As much as you had those kind of, sort of, you know, obvious nerves and concerns, I felt quite confident that this course was the right thing for me at the right time, and I was excited about it. And say, like you'd mentioned earlier as well, that's that locality of FDAMH. You've got, it's easy accessible, the parking's great, which sounds silly, but as you say, it's, you know, you're here Friday nights and Saturdays, you want it to be somewhere that's going to be accessible and local. And I think we're quite lucky with the group that we seem to have put together. But I guess we touched on that in the group as well, and we sort of said that although it does feel a bit random and lucky, we probably all are of the same mindset, which probably helped as well. So yeah, that was kind of my reason. And I think the very first point of contact that I had with FDAMH right through at the very end has been such a positive experience. So yeah, I value that.
Yeah, I'm the same. It was Facebook that I had seen the advert on, contacted by email, got a phone call, and it was yourself, Julie, that I spoke to, and did, like you, felt totally engaged and really excited, and throughout it all I've had contact with yourself through things with concerns and everything, and you've been very supportive, understanding, and the group was amazing. We all just, after the first half hour, was like, we've kennt each other for years. It was amazing. So yeah, good. The work that was involved was manageable, and it was, again, set at our pace. It wasn't at an academic level. It was very plain speaking. There was no point at any time through the course that I thought, oh, I don't know what that means, I don't understand that. There'd maybe be things that we wanted to go over, like when we're talking about modalities and things like that, but never felt that it was above our heads or anything like that. So yeah, I felt it was paced at the right level for us.
I agree, I felt it was done nicely. There was a lot of group discussion, which was really nice, because I think when you get the handbooks, which are definitely valuable, but you look at some of the content and you think absolutely the modalities and all this sort of theories, there are bits that are really complex, but necessarily so, you know, it has to be. And if you had just to look at that, you'd think, oh my goodness, I don't think I can do this. But when you come in here, the way it's kind of put across, and in the conversation you had round about it, like you were saying, the language that was used to describe and discuss made it really relatable. So although there were aspects which were absolutely, you know, quite complex, because they have to be, because they are what they are, you know, for the different modalities, they were taught in such a way and discussed in such a way that they felt really manageable and actually relatable. And when something feels relatable, well, for me anyway, I feel if it's relatable, it holds better, you know, because it makes sense in my head. And I think as well, the volume of work that we had was definitely fair. I think when you do anything of this nature, there has to be an element of putting your own time in it, or it wouldn't be valuable. You've got to have that effort, you've got to be in the right place to do it. So there was always the assignment at the end of each module, which was a really good way of sort of recapping, putting in your own words, everything you'd learned up until that point. And then you got the feedback, which was really, again, valuable too, to understand actually what I've said there makes sense, or what you can add in to make that better. So I think you need that level of effort, because that's what you've invested in. And then you get the feedback, which just reassures you as well that you're on the right path. So I think the balance was perfect between the sort of the knowledge that you had to know, how it was put across, and then how it was, you know, how it was discussed. I think I found that really helpful. And even hearing other people saying it in the group, you went, yeah, I get what they're asking, or the questions, you think, that's a really good question, do you know, and it just took it to another level. So there was something quite personal about it as well. So as well as the theories and the important stuff and the sort of knowledge, you had everybody's own sort of experiences and input, which was a really nice balance, I think.
I think at the beginning everybody went, oh no, presentations, PowerPoints, we've got to get things up on the screen and everything. But when Fergus explained, it was just a curious to sit and just say what we've learned, how we felt, what things we liked. It kind of settled everybody. And when we got the first assignment through, I think everybody did, oh my God, 1,500 words, what are we going to write? But then you were finding, oh, I need about 2,500 words here to actually write everything. And I think for me, because the assignments were personal reflection, your self-awareness, your skills, and you were looking at yourself and talking about what you got out of it, it was a lot easier to write than saying, tell me about Gestalt, tell me about, and I think we all thrived on our assignments by the end of it. And the presentations, I like to be a wee bit different, so I done my silent presentations. But I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed listening to what everybody had got out of it. And everybody had something different to say. It wasn't like we all sat there and went, I really like this. And so that was good as well to hear. And you picked up wee nuggets for everybody as well. So, and it was very relaxed.
Absolutely. I was going to say, with your presentation, that's exactly what I was going to say. It was nice because everybody was given the same sort of brief, like your wee presentation. And presentation, because I was exactly the same as you. I've always been an over-preparer. Like, I've got to do it, prep it, practice it, write notes. Do you even use the notes? It's just that thought that my mind's been there and I've done it. And Fergus was like, no, it's just about like a Sakura, and I think that was a really nice way of doing it. We're just going to sit down, it's an informal discussion about what you've got from it. And right away you think, well, that's the nerves gone a little bit, because you're just asking you what my thoughts are. It's not about, what do you remember about this? What do you remember about that? It was more just like what your interpretation, how you felt, and what you particularly enjoyed, what you got from it. And the essays, I definitely felt, assignments, I felt it's been a while since I've sat down and I'd done something as structured as an assignment. So I thought, oh my goodness, will I be able to do it? Will my brain get into gear? But like you were saying, it was a really nice balance of, it was about the module we'd just done. So it was a bit about the theory we had just done to recap it and get that clear in your head. But at the same time, there's a lot of, as you were saying, that self-reflection. Do you think about what does it mean to you? What have you enjoyed? What's been challenging? What's improved? What you found helpful? What are your thoughts on? So the minute you start thinking about, this is me, I might be discussing different modalities or whatever, but it's my thoughts on those, it's my thoughts, what my understanding is of that. So because it is that, like you were saying, the feedback you get back becomes really valuable, because it's not a case
really
of
good.
What is Gestalt, 4 points, do you know? It's not that, it's
No.
more just like, you know, what did you take from this, what did you think, what was the most important part of what worked best for you? And you think when you get the feedback back, it reassures you that I put my thoughts down, I put my thoughts and feelings down, and actually what I'm getting back is that, that's met the brief, that's perfect.
And it's a validation.
It is, absolutely. And I think your confidence kind of grew. Like, we were all really I was always apprehensive, because I think then when module 1 went quite well, I then thought, now I don't let Fergus down, so module 2, what if my module 2 was rubbish? And you think that's just me, that's a work in progress. But each time you were learning, each time you were sort of getting something, each time you got that feedback, it was just really helpful. And as you say, I was going through, a lot of us were, quite a big change throughout the module, and there was bits that were sort of knocking my confidence a little bit, and I wasn't feeling, I didn't feel like me sometimes. I felt like I'd lost a bit of myself. So this course for me was all the more valuable, because it almost allowed me to use my brain, to have those conversations, to get that positive feedback, somebody reassuring me that actually that's what we're looking for. I think for me, my initial hope was, given the fact that I knew this was something I wanted to pursue as a career, I think as you get older, you're always a bit more sort of wary, and if I don't want to jump into something without understanding or knowing what it's about. So my hope was really to come here, get a taster, and see if this was going to be something that I'd be happy to sort of progress with. It was something that I was good at, that I enjoyed, that felt a good fit for me. And if I had achieved that, that'd have been box ticked for me. But what I actually achieved was a whole nother level. So it certainly hit all that. I have left here absolutely definite that that is the path I want to go down. I've got a far better idea as to how I'm going to achieve that. I've got a bit of clarity. But the bit that I hadn't expected, I guess the unexpected benefit for me, was on a personal level. So when we came down, we knew there'd be some kind of, well, I thought role play, but it's skills practice. And to be honest, in previous experiences, in any other job I've done, that just makes my blood run cold. You think, oh my goodness. But the way that was done, it wasn't any sort of, you weren't put in the spot, it wasn't uncomfortable, you were put into sort of small groups that you stuck with for each module, and you had your listener and your speaker, which became quite comfortable. You started to develop a sort of rapport and a relationship. So we've all discussed this, haven't we? We've all said that, we all kind of realised that we'd come down with right, you've got to be open, but when I go down, if we're doing a sort of practice, then these are the topics that I'll probably discuss. Almost like a bit of a safety. That's what I'm willing to sort of open up about, and then that'll tick that box. But really early on, you started to realise that you might have started with that topic, but just by someone sitting there and listening, giving you that space, you just peeled away the layers, and felt really safe and comfortable doing that. And I think what I realised was, I think in my whole adult life, certainly my life probably, I've never really had or allowed myself that time to sit and even just saying things out loud. It's a whole different experience, just thinking thoughts in your head, giving yourself that time. There were numerous occasions during this course when I almost was aware of my own light bulb moment, just saying the words. I was like, I get that. And I think the other big massive thing for me is, for somebody that's been quite self-critical and quite angry at myself, how I deal with things, and like the internal voice is never a positive one, which I think most of us probably feel. I learned so much about, for me, the importance of how past experiences can almost colour who you are now, and understanding why I feel certain ways, understanding why I deal with things in certain ways. And it's allowed me to be a bit more self-compassionate with myself, to understand that better, which is hugely, it's a work in progress, but it's hugely valuable. But I've also found it really helpful with sort of close family members or relationships, both, close ones and work ones, because certain things can be quite triggering, like you maybe react to certain things, but without even realising it, without even meaning to, I'm coming at that with a whole different viewpoint, thinking, I wonder why they said that, I wonder if they're thinking, I'm almost thinking about what's causing that person to act or react that way, and it's making my reaction quite different. So from a personal point of view, it's completely surpassed my expectations.
And what about you, Sam?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same as Nicole. Wanted to pursue it for a professional purpose, because been in social care for years and I want to look at the therapeutic side rather than the hands-on side. So I thought, right, we'll go in and see it. Like Nicole, I'm a very guarded person, don't share, keep myself to myself. So came into skills practice and it was like, right, there's 3 things I can talk about and I'll be fine. And when we got observed by Fergus had said he has never seen anybody sit with their body language so close. I mean, I had my whole side, facing the person. Didn't share. It was all superficial stuff. By the second session, things were just outpouring, and I was sharing things that I have never spoke about since I was a child, since I was a teenager. So I learned so much about myself and started to understand how my childhood and my upbringing has influenced and made me react and behave in ways that have been negative. So now I have Jahari windows all over my spare room. I have post-it notes all over my room. I do positive affirmations every day. I am kind to myself, and I think that's the main thing I'm taking away for the course, is that it's made me see me in a different way, in a good way, in a positive way. What did you enjoy most?
Do you know, I enjoyed, without sounding too cheesy, I literally enjoyed every single part of that. Do you know, from start to finish, I thoroughly enjoyed every bit. And I thought not many things would get me excited on a Friday night and a Saturday, but I actually looked forward to coming. But when I was thinking about it and reflecting on it at the end, I think the most surprising bit was the enjoyable and challenging when that kind of crossed over. Because, like we said earlier, like for me in any other walk of life, doing anything remotely that resembles a sort of role play scenario would just make me go cold inside. And when we first came in, I remember Fergus saying, do you know, as the modules go on, you'll start to love skills practice like that. No, we won't.
Heads all went down.
But so quickly, that became such a valuable part. So it gave you that chance to put into practice the theory you just learned, but more importantly, it gave you the confidence as the listener to feel your own skills getting better, but equally having that space, that protected time to just speak about what you want to speak about, and having someone sitting there listening. And I thought, I think the first time we did skills practice, I was really aware that we were all learning, you know, so we're just kind of playing at it felt, but equally that was more because I was mindful of what I was saying. I was like, I don't want to open my can of worms and overshare and like completely overwhelm somebody that's just trying to get a grip of the whole sort of thing. But really early on, you completely forgot that was just somebody doing the same course as you at the same stage. There was just such a value to that person being present and listening. So the skills practice for me, like I enjoyed all aspects, every bit of it I found was just gave me so much. But the skills practice was definitely where the enjoyable and challenging crossed. And I thought, how can I find like something I thought I would not enjoy so beneficial? So that was the bit that got me, I think.
And I think when we were in a triad together, because we've got the friendship outside of the course that we'd built up, I thought that was going to be really challenging.
Yeah.
But the minute I sat down and you sat down and you just changed, and it was like, so how's it been for you? Your whole persona, the whole way you listened, and you were just so intent and just so listened and so focused. And then when we finished, we were, oh my God, that's over. And I think we all done that, but it wasn't fake.
No.
Because I think that was one of the challenges I faced was, I want to share, but I didn't want to share too much. And the same when I was listening, I was constantly, the first module, I was thinking in my head, oh my God, I've said that, right, what do I say, how do I follow that, how do I take it somewhere? By this middle way through the second mod, I wasn't even thinking in my head, I was just listening, and it felt really natural, and it just flowed. And I think the group helped that, because the people that we had in the group were just amazing. We all got on, we all had the banter, but the minute we went into skills practice, it was complete. Then we'd come back out and the banter was back on.
It's true. It was that level of respect that didn't have to be discussed, didn't have to be sort of agreed upon. It was just we were all there. It was important to all of us. So when we went into that room, we were doing our skills practice. It felt so real. It was so authentic. It was like in that moment.
And professional.
It really did. It really did. It was so valuable. And then, as you say, the nice thing was when we came back out and had a cup of tea, it was quite relaxed, but we knew that whatever was said in there, that was a safe space.
Yeah.
And I think that was a key thing as well. So although we were close in the group, nobody ever said, oh, today she was saying, you know, that was never ever, and we did discuss that beforehand, but nobody did on it anyway. But I think that was really apparent, that we're all here, we're all taking this really seriously, and we're all getting such a lot, and we all wanted to develop that, didn't we, as listeners and speakers. And it was never in question that would be brought up at any other point, so everybody felt really safe. And I think that was a really key thing for me as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think we've agreed we're definitely going to go down the path of counselling as a profession. So in that regard, definitely have plans for using these skills, hopefully on a daily basis, to sort of benefit and help others. But I appreciate that's still another couple of years to go till we get to that point. So I'm really keen. It's not something for me, it feels like these aren't skills that I'm going to shelf until I become a counsellor. Do you know, oh, well, that's fine, I know that, I'll park that till I'm doing the job. What we learned through this course, for me, I felt has changed me so fundamentally in how I think about things, how I see things, that actually I'll continue to use them on a daily basis to help me as an individual. And even as in sort of family and friends situations, how I react now. So we did the thing about collusion, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm really bad. Before I thought I was a great pal for sort of backing up somebody and being in their corner. And sometimes you think all you're doing is riling that person up. So I definitely am more aware of that now, and I'm sort of dampening the emotions, sort of listening, accepting, acknowledging, letting them get it off their chest, appreciating how they feel. But then not stoking that fire and making it worse. And I think even in the jobs that I do, until I become a qualified counsellor, I came in here, and the job I did previously involved me sitting listening to people on a daily basis. And I thought, well, I have no problem. I'm an active listener. I've done courses in that. I'm a great listener.
I was the same.
But then you realise, actually, my brain's tick-talking. I'm thinking what I'm asking next. Where am I going with this? Oh, that was missing so much. So whatever I do on a daily basis now, I think that is now, it made so much sense to me, and it made such a positive impact on me doing things differently, that I'll continue to do that. So hopefully whoever I come in contact between now and becoming a qualified counsellor, it'll benefit and help that relationship and how I handle things and how I react. That's how I think anyway. Yeah,
and I've noticed a change in you as well, how you react, obviously with our friendship. I'm using it every day for me personally. I've got my post-it notes, I've got the good feelings, the affirmations, and if I do feel anything negative, I do write it up, but I take it back down by the end of the day because I've worked on it and got rid of it. In my job, the new one I've got, third job of the year, never mind, at the carer centre, I'm finding this course so invaluable. Just talking to carers, listening to them. They want us to do everything on the phone, being a bit of a rebel, and I'm doing face-to-face with all my carers, either in the centre or at home, because I get so much more the face-to-face, plus learning about advanced empathy within the course. I can notice the wee lip twitches, them twiddling their hair, them moving, so that's making them uncomfortable. They didn't really want to talk about it, so I just push it just a wee bit, and then I'm getting so much more out of people. The feedback that I'm having is that people are enjoying it. They're thanking me for making them feel not just a number or a statistic, that they feel listened to. So I think I'm joyous at the moment because I'm able to use it. Do want to do the diploma, and I do want to do this full time, do the counselling full time, but until then I'm going to keep doing it and in our personal lives.
Yeah, 100%.
Because we do bounce off each other. We will FaceTime, this has happened today, but why has it happened? Why are you acting like that? So I think the two of us are just going to go from strength to strength with this.
I would say, without a doubt, go for it. I think
Definitely.
we have, as a group, and certainly the two of us that are here today speaking, we have found the whole thing nothing but beneficial. I think my only regret is I didn't do it sooner, but again, having spoken to Fergus, he managed to reassure me that actually that's okay, the timing's everything, this is the right time for you.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to even have any regrets for that, but I certainly feel that there's always going to be a reason to put it off, be it financially, or I've got this, I've got that. But actually, I did not find that difficult at all to commit to on a Friday night or Saturday. In fact, it became my time. It became quite protected time. And I say, managed the payments, having that at the start each module was a nice way. You can obviously pay it all at the same time if you want, but you've got that little bit, sort of staggered payment. And I think there were so many things for me that I was like, oh, maybe it's not the right time, maybe it's not. But I am so glad that I just took that step, because, as I say, from a professional point of view, but a personal point of view, it is a game changer, isn't it? And I think my only regret would be of having putting this off a bit longer. I think for me, it's just been the best thing I've done. I mean, I've said it's changed my life in a few months more than anything else has. So it's been worth every penny, every second, every minute, every Friday and Saturday, do you know? And I genuinely, if I could do it again, I really would.
Yeah. And I think it does go back to the right time, the right place. I do think as a group, we were all meant to do this at the same time. The personal development is just through the roof, and it is invaluable, and it will continue throughout the rest of professional, personal life. I can't praise it enough. For me personally, life changing.
And I think if you're already thinking about doing a counselling course, then you're going to be like us, the seed's there.
Yeah.
Do you know? And you're never, ever, ever going to do this course and regret it.
Never.
If you're thinking that way already, then it's only going to be a positive. So I would definitely say, if it's something that's in your mind, if it's something you're thinking about, then this as a course is, whether you go forward and do counselling professionally or not, that doesn't matter. It's more, you will look at things and you will deal with things on a personal level in a different way going forward. It's the most beneficial thing I think I've ever done. And we all came from different ages, different backgrounds, and every single person on that course found it a game changer. So it's not as if it's just a niche thing, is it? It's like, you know, if you've got that interest, that's your common theme.
Yeah.
And everybody finds it hugely beneficial. So I would just say, go for it, absolutely, without a doubt.